Let's be honest, no one anticipated the storm that would erupt from a single sentence. Yet that's exactly what unfolded when Candace Owens went live and accused Meghan Markle of fabricating her pregnancies. There was no ambiguity, no subtle suggestion. She said it outright. She was never pregnant. Owens even challenged Meghan to take her to court. This wasn't your standard gossip headline. It was a direct hit aimed at Meghan's public image. Candace isn't just another outspoken figure with a microphone. She's a political provocateur, a controversy magnet, and an expert at grabbing media attention. So when she accused Meghan of staging not one but both pregnancies, it wasn't reckless talk. It was a calculated move. A strategic strike. And truthfully, it landed harder than any tabloid rumor could. Why? Because it went after Meghan's core narrative. Her brand has been carefully built around the role of motherhood. Every interview, every documentary, every carefully curated photo spread. Each one highlights her as a mother, a survivor, a woman who distanced herself from the royal establishment to protect her children. To claim those pregnancies never happened isn't just criticism, it's a bombshell. And here's what makes the situation even more explosive. Owens insists she has evidence. Not grainy screenshots or internet speculation, but alleged credible sources, people supposedly close to the situation who stayed silent to protect Meghan and Harry's image. That transforms this from idle gossip into a potential PR nightmare. Rumors about Meghan's pregnancies aren't entirely new. For years, online sleuths and skeptics have pointed to oddities in photos, unusual changes in her baby bump, and public appearances that seemed questionable. But until now, no high-profile figure was bold enough to voice these suspicions publicly. Owens didn't just mention it, she tore the lid off. The timing makes it especially dangerous. Meghan and Harry have been struggling to maintain their relevance in Hollywood. Spotify ended its partnership. Netflix appears less enthusiastic, and public sympathy, which has been their strongest asset, is dwindling. Without it, their influence and financial opportunities diminish. Owens's accusations could therefore hit with the force of a reputational and financial wrecking ball. So the question becomes, how does Meghan respond? If she remains silent, she risks fueling the speculation even more. The moment Meghan stays silent, people start to whisper, well, maybe it's true. But if she responds, she risks sinking deeper into the mud. To fight back, she'd have to release medical records, timelines, even personal testimony, opening up a can of worms she may not want exposed. Either way, Owens has boxed her into a corner. And let's be clear, Candace knows exactly what she's doing. This wasn't an impulsive rant. It was strategy. Drop the grenade, dare Meghan to pick it up, and then sit back while the internet tears itself apart. It's ruthless, calculated, and undeniably effective. Right now, TikTok creators are dissecting old clips of Meghan cradling her bump. Twitter is in flames with endless debates. Instagram feeds are filled with side-by-side comparisons, freeze frames, and slow-motion breakdowns. The internet doesn't wait for evidence. It thrives on curiosity, chaos, and controversy. And Candace Owens just handed it an all-you-can-eat buffet. What makes this hit harder is that Owens isn't just attacking Meghan. She's going after the one thing Meghan has always tried to control: the narrative. That carefully polished image, the fairy tale presentation of her life. Owens didn't just throw a stone at it. She set it ablaze. Now the world is watching to see whether Meghan will rush in with water or let the flames spread. But Owens didn't stop at questioning pregnancies. She pushed further, into deeply personal territory, delivering her words with a cold, almost clinical precision. She alleged that Meghan has long-standing reproductive health issues that would make natural pregnancy nearly impossible. And she didn't frame it as speculation. She threw it down as a challenge. If you want us to believe otherwise, show us the records. That line detonated online almost instantly. And here's the chilling part. Fertility struggles are among the most private and painful battles any woman can face. Most would never dare weaponize it. But Candace made it public, not with sympathy, not with care, but with intent. In her view, Meghan used motherhood as a shield, and now, that shield has to be shattered. At this point, it's no longer simple gossip, it's psychological warfare. Meghan built her entire public identity around being a mother. It softens her image. It humanizes her. It gives her protection from criticism. When tabloids crossed the line, she pointed to her children. When royal drama escalated, she reminded the world she was just a mom trying to protect her family. Motherhood was her safest card to play, and Candace Owens just set that card on fire. The reaction was immediate and explosive. Twitter became a battleground. One side hailed Candace as brave for saying what others wouldn't. Some praised Candace for finally saying what others were too afraid to voice. Others condemned her comments as vile, cruel, and heartless, and they weren't wrong. It was brutal. But Candace doesn't care. That's her strategy. No hesitation. No apologies. Double down and dare her critics to challenge her. What makes this even more dangerous is that Candace has the influence to keep the story alive. She isn't shouting into the void. She has a loyal following, a massive platform, and enough media attention to ensure her words spread. Even when traditional outlets steer clear, gossip sites and social media accounts amplify her every statement. And the longer Meghan stays silent, the louder Candace's claims begin to sound. Here's where the strategy turns especially clever and cruel. Candace has built a no-win scenario. If Meghan stays quiet, the silence will be read as guilt. If she responds, she's forced to drag her most private, sensitive matters into the public eye. Either way, she loses ground. The medical accusations are the most dangerous piece. They shift the discussion from speculation about photos to speculation about Meghan's biology. Now people are scouring old interviews, comparing belly sizes, questioning due dates, and dissecting every appearance. Reddit threads are already overflowing with supposed timelines, anomalies, and evidence. What started as gossip has snowballed into a full-scale investigation by the court of public opinion, and the stakes couldn't be higher. If Meghan can't contain this narrative, it could redefine how the public sees her, not just as a celebrity, but as a woman, a mother, and a cultural figure. Everything she has built, her royal reputation, her Hollywood ambitions, her brand as a protective mother, begins to crumble once doubt takes root. Candace has framed the issue as truth versus illusion. Her gamble is that unless Meghan can produce undeniable proof, then every piece of her public persona, from the tearful interviews to the carefully staged family photos, becomes suspect. That's the trap. It's no longer just a question of whether she carried her children. It's whether she lied to the world, and that question, once unleashed, doesn't fade away. It lingers. It spreads. It takes on a life of its own. Candace didn't stop at questioning pregnancies. She escalated further, claiming Meghan orchestrated a long-term deception. In her telling, this wasn't just about shaky timelines or unusual photos. It was part of a deliberate plan to construct a sympathetic, untouchable image, to control the narrative, and to build an empire on the foundation of motherhood. And if that claim sticks, then we're no longer talking about personal choices or private struggles. We're talking about what could be perceived as a calculated fraud on a global scale. Candace took it even further, framing the entire situation as something far bigger than questions about babies. She described it as an industrial-scale fraud, a deception played out on a global stage. In her words, this wasn't about motherhood. It was about a woman manipulating the world to sell a lie. Once she put it that way, the conversation shifted. It was no longer just about pregnancies. It became a debate about trust, influence, and how much of Meghan's public life had been staged. The scrutiny expanded. People began revisiting old interviews, rewatching documentaries and analyzing every baby photo, every affectionate moment, every carefully worded anecdote. Suddenly, all of it seemed tainted with doubt. That was the poison Candace injected, not just accusing Meghan of lying, but making her entire story feel like theater. The cruel irony is that even if Meghan's pregnancies were completely genuine, the damage is already done. Public opinion doesn't require proof to turn. Suspicion alone is enough. Once people start questioning what they once accepted as fact, the illusion shatters. And Meghan's career has always depended on keeping that illusion seamless. Beyond the personal fallout, there's a business dimension. Meghan and Harry have worked to position themselves as media power players. Their brand has been built around family, resilience, and redemption, the narrative of breaking free from the monarchy to protect their children. Their books, documentaries, and speaking engagements all hinge on that identity. Remove the foundation of motherhood, and the story collapses. This isn't just gossip anymore, it's risk. Studios shy away from mess. Brands avoid controversy they can't control. And this storm is precisely the kind of chaos they don't want attached to their investments. If there's doubt around Meghan's identity as a mother, it creates hesitation everywhere, from casting decisions to business deals to audience trust. Even Meghan's silence has a price. With every passing day she doesn't respond, Candace's voice grows louder. Her supporters grow more confident. Conspiracy threads multiply and headlines keep rolling in. Where's the proof? Is a question that doesn't fade. It lingers because people remember the smoke, not whether a fire was ever real. Of course, Meghan could pursue legal action. She's done it before. But suing Candace wouldn't be a tidy PR move. It would trigger discovery, subpoenas, medical records, depositions, an entire process she may not want dragged into the spotlight. Even if she won, the trial itself could turn into a spectacle. And Candace knows this. That's why she delivered her words as a dare. A challenge Meghan can't easily accept. At this point, there's no clean way forward. There's no easy path back from this. The question now isn't simply whether Meghan will fight back, it's whether she even can. Public opinion doesn't wait for evidence. It moves on feeling. And right now, the mood around Meghan is shifting. Even her former supporters are falling silent, unsure where to stand. Because when trust is damaged, even slightly, it rarely returns whole. Candace didn't just accuse Meghan of dishonesty. She attacked the most personal, relatable part of her identity, motherhood. By doing so, she flipped public sympathy into doubt. That's the true cost. Meghan is no longer defending a single narrative. She's battling for control of her entire legacy. And unless she finds a way to regain that trust, the story may define her more than anything she's ever said or done.